you tend to empathize more with characters you see yourself in, and I maybe come up with reasons as to why somebody is the way they are. And Aqua is not the character I see myself in, so to me, I'm just like, no.
Hey friends, welcome back to the CNT Review.
This is where we review anything from food to fashion and everything in between.
Since you saw the title and clicked on the video, you already know what we're about to get into.
Yes, so as promised, today we are going to be discussing a Disney Channel original movie. And we're going to talk about exactly how watching it now as an adult was different than when we watched it as a child.
Yeah.
And you want to know which Disney Channel original movie we're talking about?
What is it?
The Cheetah Girls! Yes, the Cheetah Girls. If you have never watched the Cheetah Girls, save this video.
Right.
Please go watch all three because
Yes.
they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And then come back and have the conversation with us. They are pretty much a rite of passage. So you definitely recommend. But before we dig deep into the Cheetah Girls, let's get the fun question out the way. Chloe,
Okay.
which one out of the three is your favorite?
I will have to say number 2. I was watching all 3 of them, I guess, over the weekend. I was crying a lot for some reason. While
You were
watching
crying?
it. Yes. And I was
Oh,
like, is
gosh.
there something wrong with me? But I don't know, but just everything about it. I think obviously they got some better production quality with the second movie, because I guess Disney found out the first one was good. Okay, let's give them more money for the second one. Good. But I don't know, just the songs, the resolution, everything. I was like, yes. And then Barcelona, I was sitting there, I literally picked up my phone and Googled, okay, so how much does it cost to go to Barcelona? I was like, I want to go. I mean, I know we talked about that before, but it just kind of reminded me oh, okay, this is why I wanted to go to Barcelona. True.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I mean, I swear, if you say any other movie but the second one,
You was not gonna be
are
my
you
friend no more.
Are you a real Cheetah Girls fan though?
Are you? I mean, I love the third one too. Actually,
I mean, the third one is really random, and I
it
really
is
do
really
like the
random, but I
music.
love it.
I like the music in the third one, but that second one hit
Yeah,
different on all different levels. The quality was better, the
Yeah.
songs was better, the
Yeah.
clothing designers thing was better.
Yeah.
Everything was just better.
Yeah.
It was, the setting was better.
Yeah.
Chloe is right. When I first saw the Cheetah Girls 2, I was like, I want to go to Barcelona, and I want to sing "Strut Like You Mean It"
Yep.
on the streets of Barcelona. I told her that. I was like, whenever we mention Barcelona, I'm like, okay, whenever we go, we gotta sing "You Gotta Strut Like You Mean It, Free Your Mind." That's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
It's on the checklist before we do anything.
Right. Before we check into the hotel, before we find food.
We're gonna
Go
throw our
to-
bags. I'm gonna find a little Angel on the street to play the guitar.
Yes.
And then
Come
I'm
on,
I know, my little angel. And then
Yes.
I wanna just strut like I mean it down the streets of Barcelona and do the whole dance. I just wanna do that. It's a
Yes.
requirement. So yes, the second one, absolutely.
So, Dorinda, our
Okay.
dancing queen.
Yes, Dancing Queen.
Yes.
Sorry, wrong movie.
Wrong movie. But so Dorinda started off. She was kind of hiding her, I want to say, identity, because she really didn't know who she was. She was also hiding major parts about herself. One of them being that she was a foster child, and none of her friends knew who her parents were, for where she lived, because where they thought she lived, she didn't really live. She was dealing with some deep insecurities, and I think if they really had the time, they could really pull more out of her story. She talked about being abandoned as a baby, her mom didn't want her. She said, I forgot how many kids she said were at that foster, or were foster children along with her.
Which is
I want
what
to say 10,
tends
but
to,
let's go with that.
What tends to happen with foster children? You're not adopted, so
Right,
it does.
right.
You tend to be one of, I don't want to say many, but kind of.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of people there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think it's even bigger, like actually going off of that, like you said, you're not adopted. At this point, she's 14. She's in high school. I'm just gonna put her at 14 because she starts as a freshman. But she's 14 and she hasn't been adopted yet, you know. But she likes it there. But I think she's just conflicted because she's like, I'm not adopted. My mom didn't want me. Like, who am I? But I think one of the main things was that she was afraid of change, and it came out a lot in the third movie. She didn't want stuff to change. They were going to college, or you know, when you got your high school friends, or you got your friends that you know, and they're your core, and then you go to college away from everybody, and everything changes. That's scary. I mean, honestly. So I totally get that. But so she was afraid of change, and that's something she really had to come to grips with. And I think that kind of stems, I guess, going through the foster care system. She probably had to change a lot. Like, who knows? They don't tell us how long she was at the schools, but change was probably something that was really scary to her because of that. You know, so she had to deal with it a lot. But I think at the very end, she came to grips with it because that one guy with the tree with all the strings, he was kind of like, I wrote it down. He said something so deep to me, and I was like, I know that's right, sir. And it was, he was talking to me too. I was like, mind your business. Stop coming at me. He said change will take place whether you like it or not. And he just like he was speaking into her life. Shout out to that guy, whoever he was. He was speaking into her life, but it was helping her come to grips with change and be like, it's okay. It's gotta happen. So you better just kind of settle in and let it happen and make the most of it. So Chanel, we discussed kind of off camera that we didn't think Chanel made a super like dramatic transition from the first movie to the third movie. But if you did see, if you out there in YouTube land saw like, no, y'all are crazy, we saw all this, well then go ahead and let us know. Help us out. Thank you. Yes. But I think the main thing was just she was always like playing background to Galleria. She was always on the side, helping her out, helping her friend realize her dream. And the third movie, she kind of had to be more of a leader. She took on some of those leadership roles, you know, pushing the Cheetah Girls, like, we're going to do this audition, you know, yada yada, while Galleria wasn't there. If you didn't know, she's not in the third movie. But so that was the main thing. She really kind of like just grew up real quick, like, okay, now I'm in charge. And then she had the possibility of being a leading lady in a movie, and she kind of grappled with that, like, you know, it's one of my favorite songs from the movie is What If, and it's like, do I want to continue through life, just keep asking like, what if, or should I just go for it? Should I worry about this, that, and the third, or the cheat is over? She was just going through a lot in the third movie. But
it's a great song.
It is a great song. And at the end, she chose her friends over what we thought was her dream. So I don't really know what message they were sending. I don't know. I wrote down the ending is kind of weird. I love it, but it's still weird.
I think it was more so of like she can have it all. Like, you know what I mean? Like she didn't, because they ended up being in the movie.
Right, they were in the movie, but she wasn't the leading lady. And she gave up the part for anymore. Cheetah, I think it was her name.
Yeah, because they realized that was probably a better fit. A better fit anyway. Yeah. So I think they still were able to be in the movie. Probably not the leading ladies, but in the movie at least. And she was still able to have her friends.
Nice.
So maybe
Resolution.
She was able to have it all.
Yes. So then there's Aqua. Aqua was, I guess, one of the, I don't want to say she was meaner, but she was more on edge. For most of the first movie. She was from Texas, so we're made to assume that she moved there, you know, I guess the beginning or the summer before freshman year in high school. They moved to New York with her dad. We don't know what happened to her mother, but that could also contribute to her attitude. The main thing was she was just like, I don't like what Galleria's doing, so Chanel, you need to fix it. Like, she was always part of that. I think because she, Takora hates that. That's her least favorite part.
That's the least favorite part. Like, sis, don't put that on Chanel. You have a problem, you handle your business. And then she got mad because maybe Chanel ain't handled it the way that she should have, because she was like, you ain't handled it, so now I had to.
That's sis, my favorite line. I don't know why.
You should have been handled that. Like, sis, like, don't be like, oh, you ain't handled it, so now I have to. That was me looking at the camera.
So part of her character development with just, I guess, settling in to her new friends, to New York, but still kind of holding on to her identity. You know, she was like trying to hold on to it. She always had her hot sauce, like, oh, y'all don't do it like we do it in Texas. All throughout the movie, we do this in Texas and this in Texas. I think she was trying to hold on to, like, don't forget I'm from Texas. Like, even in the second movie when they announced the Cheetah Girls at the end, from New York and Texas.
Which, I mean, okay. I don't blame her. If I'm not from New York, I ain't from New York. I'm from Texas,
so
born and raised.
She was trying to hold on, like, and I think the main thing I've always heard was like, why did Aqua just get so nice all of a sudden in the second and then the third movie? She was super nice.
It was like a completely different person.
It was a complete, yeah, she was a whole new person. I think part of it, to me, and this is subjective, you know, let us know in the comments what you think, what you saw. You maybe have a different eye than we do. Part of me, I think, is just because she settled in, like they were actually friends. I think she realized, okay, these girls are not going to backstab me. You know, some people, I mean, we have a friend like that. She kind of just has people at arm's length until she's like, are they going to play me? Are they really about to be my friends? Because if not, she like got one foot out, not our friend, but Aqua might have had one foot out the door, like, say something crazy to me and I'm gone, you know. But I think she settled in and was like, okay, maybe they're really my friends. Maybe, okay, Cheetah Girls is a thing. Okay, we're really gonna, okay. And maybe that's why she started being nicer, because she didn't feel like she was watching her back. Now, this is like so dramatic. I know, for a Disney movie. So dramatic. But that's just my opinion.
No,
I feel like, I know me, I'm kind of similar, where I'm like, I don't settle in right away. It takes me a long time before I realize, are they really my friend? Can I settle in and really be myself? That's how I am. So I see you, sis. You are synced.
I mean, it's a good perspective. I think it's a perspective that maybe people didn't think about. She was a completely different person. I didn't really think about why all of a sudden it's a completely different person. I did read somewhere that part of the reason why it seemed like such a dramatic change of character was because in the books, so the Cheetah Girls are based on books, if you didn't know that.
Yes.
In the books, there are twins, actually. Aquanetta and, who's the other one? Chloe?
And Janetta.
And Jeanette. So they're twins. And of course, I guess they're different. I read the books, but I don't remember fully. But I did read that, you know, Anjanette was a kind of the nicer twin, and Aquanetta was more of the, I don't want to say meaner.
Rough around the edges.
But more, yeah, I guess rough around the edges. So, but they combined them into one character, just Aqua. And so I did read that people's theories are that the reason why it seems like such a character change is because they combined them into one person. And so Cheetah Girls 2 was more of the Anjanette character, and Cheetah Girls 1 might have been more of the Aquanette character. But I mean, that could be true. I also like Chloe's take on it. Maybe she did have more time to settle in between the first and second movie, because that was freshman year
to junior year,
and this was junior year. So that could be a reason why she was on edge. Absolutely, sis was still frustrating to me. No, sis, there was no reason for you to put that on Chanel. Like, Chanel probably would have talked to Galleria in her own time, because it's not like Chanel had ever her problem with speaking her mind to Galleria. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Chanel, you saw that throughout the movie. Chanel had no problem saying it to Galleria, like, you'll be tripping.
Right.
Okay. But
so
that's that.
The person that Takora most identifies with is Galleria. And so we're gonna talk about her development. Galleria obviously was painted as, I don't want to say the villain, because I looking at it as an adult, I saw something different. But she is the one that is painted negatively, as the one who is more or less pushy, or just more by herself and willing to step over people to get to her dreams. And even if that means walking on your own, which you got to do as an artist, and that's real, or pushing people away. And I think her growth was obviously the most dramatic, because as in the second movie, she was still about her dreams and being like, we need to rehearse and let's be excellent and let's do it. Which, you know, I think it's great that she kept those qualities, because those are the best parts about her. But she treated people better. I think she cared a little more about the other parts of their friendship, not just as the Cheetah Girls, but as her three friends. Were there things that you also saw with Galleria?
With Galleria, right? Like, I'm a strong believer in, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Galleria was not wrong per se in what she said in the first movies, but how she came across, though, was it can come across as condescending. So was she wrong about Aqua's Hot sauce in her bag? No. Aqua probably
No,
does.
it's like not that important.
It's
hot
I mean,
sauce.
it's not that important, but like even Chanel was like, looks do matter, and like it was like, sis,
She had hot sauce on her face.
But I'm just saying, but like, and also she was sitting there like talking with her mouth full and all those things, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's one of those things where it's like she was not wrong in what she said. Aqua took what she was saying better from Chanel. Chanel said it in a much like calming way and was like, you know, she's right. Like looks do matter. Like, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. The movie is a whole plethora of things of it's not what you say, but how you say it. And I think she did get better at that in the second movie, but then also it kind of backfired on her because unfortunately they never took her seriously until it got to the point where she was like, I'm leaving. Like, you know what I mean? So there's this conundrum. And the reason I connect with that is because I have a strong personality. So it's not what you say, but how you say it. And I'm constantly aware and I constantly process what I say to people. Because I'm like, I don't want to come across as condescending, and I don't want to come across just saying the first thing that pops into my head, because it's not always maybe the nicest. And even in the second one, I connect with this sort of back and forth battle that she had that entire movie. You could tell she wanted to go back to her old ways a little bit because they were not listening to her. And for a strong personality, that happens. When you want something to get done and you want it to be done, but you're also constantly aware of how you can come across. It's this constant battle in your brain. So I see you, Galleria. And I feel you.
You have been
and
seen.
I hear you.
They made her out to be sort of a villain, even though I personally think Jackal Johnson was the real villain because he had the comeuppance in the end, and Galleria got the redemption. But do you think the villains in Disney and Disney Channel original movies are always wrong?
Simple answer, no.
Okay.
they're not always wrong. So movies, they have an idea of what they want to accomplish, right? Yes. Most movies, especially Disney movies, I will say this, especially with Disney movies, Disney Channel movies, or just regular Disney movies, there's this clear line that's drawn. Here's a villain and here's the good guy. You need to root for the good people and not like the bad guys. So they paint this idea, and they start within the first few minutes of a Disney movie, or really any movie. Okay. A person knows. It doesn't even have to be a Disney movie, but a person knows who they should be rooting for and who they should not be rooting for. It is I think there are very few movies out there. There are some definitely that you go into a movie, you're like, I don't know who to root for. I don't know, like they're both good or they're both bad, or you're just like, I don't really know what's happening here.
Or a plot twist, the bad person was the good person all along.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like I think there are not that many movies out there like that. And as an adult, when you're watching those types of movies, especially Disney movies, you are like, you know what? I kind of empathize with that villain. The only thing with villains is that like the way they sometimes go about their situations, you're like, you probably should have not done that. Right. But like, are they always wrong? That's one of the reasons why I love Once Upon a Time, which y'all should go watch that. It's on Disney Plus.
Shout out to Disney. Look at Disney.
But
not an ad. Y'all should support us. But I mean, y'all should sponsor us.
Y'all should, right? One of the things that I adore about Once Upon a Time is that line, that clear line that is drawn in the sand in Disney movies is gone. Mm-hmm. There is this blur. They make sure to let you know that villains or supposed villains are not, like, they are capable of good. Mm-hmm. And how good people, or these people that we view as good, are also capable of evil. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's capable of something. Like, good people are not always good, and evil people are not always evil. There's this clear blurring that happens in the show. Every time I watch the show, I'm just like, oh, I love this show.
It's a great
show. Because
they
really,
shameless plug. Go watch that.
Shameless plug. They really make you think, like, good people are capable of evil. And most of the time, evil people, they're not born evil. Right. They just kind of, they evil stuff. Because of maybe something that has happened in their life, they turn evil. Like, something in life makes them, like, hardens their heart, right? And it's just different for the good people that you see in these movies. Their backstory tends to be a little more happy. So that's why they turned out that's why they turned out good. And so in terms of the Cheetah Girls, right? Like, yes, I think there were multiple villains. I think Jackal definitely was a villain. But they also wanted us to not take Galleria side.
Okay.
They wanted us to view her as this kind of like self-absorbed, selfish, narcissistic kind of person. And while she was those things, yes, absolutely. But the other girls weren't always good. Like I said earlier, none of them really asked Doe why she would maybe wear the same clothes every day. Like, you know what I mean? The only reason Chanel found out was because after something had happened, and so she wanted to go check on her. But if that something hadn't happened, I don't think she would have stopped by. But they clearly want us to see, though, Galleria talking to her mom, being like, is she wearing those same clothes? Yep. So they clearly are painting this image of her like she is supposed to be this sort of like bad, I'll say bad, I'll put that in quotes, person. As an adult, I'm just kind of like, well, everybody's not that great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's good, but then also everybody's bad. So yes, are villains always wrong? As you get older, you're like, I empathize with this.
I don't even know.
I don't even know anymore. I empathize with you. Especially now, a lot of Disney's coming out with a lot of like villain solo movies. So you know they did Maleficent, and they kind of humanized her.
Maleficent.
I love Maleficent.
I love that movie.
And they humanized her a lot. Like, you definitely feel bad
like,
for her.
And the hero, the king, was the one that did her dirty. Hence why she is the way she is now.
Exactly. And so, and that's usually what they do. With villains, there's always something that drives them to be bad. They don't just pop out bad. And so then you start to empathize more with them. And you know, they're coming out with this Cruella movie with my girl Emma Stone.
Yes, they are.
I love Emma Stone. That's my favorite.
That's for Emma. Shout out to Emma.
And I don't know what they're going to do with this one. I don't know if they're really going to like give her a backstory of that.
Sorry, she's killing puppies.
But
we never know.
That's the thing. I don't know. From what I've seen in the preview, I don't think they're going to like humanize her. I think they're really going to be like, nah, she was always crazy. Okay. So the thing, but so outside of Cruella, I do think that there is this thin line between good and evil, and that people cross it every day. Every day.
I agree. It really is just as choices. Do I do the good thing? Or do I do?
And some people don't. Some people make the wrong choices, but even good people make the wrong choices sometimes.
Absolutely, we're not perfect. So let us know what you thought. Which is your favorite Cheetah Girl movie? And let us know. Do you think all the villains? Do you agree with our idea that villains are not always wrong or not always bad? Or let us know how you feel in the comments. Be a part. Or you're like, no, they're terrible.
Villains are always wrong.
Yeah, and let us know
which we respect.
Right. I mean, everybody has their opinion. We're entitled to it. Let us know also which Cheetah Girl you identify with. Which one was your favorite one growing up, and which one, if you watch it again as an adult, that you're like, you know what? No, I lean more toward this person, because we're all evolving. Hashtag evolving woman. That is my thing.
Yes. Ever constantly
evolving. So just let us know.
Yes. And next time we are going to be continuing our International Women's Month celebration, and also continuing our movie streak, because we've done movies for the past 2 weeks, and we are going to be reviewing a movie with a very diverse cast. They have women represented from multiple countries across this great world of ours. And so we're going to be doing that next week. This has been another CET review. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and check out our other videos. We'll see you next time. Bye!